Hello, everybody. My name is Andreas Geiger from Zurich, Switzerland. This year, I have the pleasure to serve in the role of District 109 Corporate Chair. My mission is to strengthen Toastmasters in big companies. We are proud that we have almost 30 of these groups in our District 109. We want to make them stronger. If you are interested in the topic, in the Zoom chat, you find a link to our exchange group about the topic Toastmasters in corporations on LinkedIn. With this, I want to take you into a short vacation from your workday. We will look into beautiful pictures that I looked up in my iPhone in preparation of this workshop. The title of my workshop is The Magic Beyond Your Home Toastmasters Club. I stand here because I claim that the magic, the growth, the true growth starts beyond the boundaries of the coziness of our home Toastmasters clubs. Not that it's really necessary to tell this to you. You are already beyond the boundaries of your home Toastmasters club because you decided to attend today's event. Speaking of vacation from my workday or your workday, I unfortunately need to leave you after 30 minutes. Maybe you want to continue the discussion after that, but I will be here to show you the plentiful opportunities to go and to grow beyond the boundaries of our home clubs. And then there will be plenty of room to discuss, to ask questions, and of course, to share your experiences and growth opportunities that you discovered beyond your home club. I will now start the screen sharing. Let me quickly do this for you. I hope that now everything is beautiful. Full screen, is it? Perfect. Yeah, this is 2017, a picture of me visiting a Toastmasters Club in Singapore. My company sent me there for 2 months. I had no friends, no social life. So after 1 week, I decided I will visit Toastmasters clubs literally every day, also on the weekend. Singapore is a perfect place if you want to visit Toastmasters clubs. They have on that tiny island, 30 kilometers, 240 Toastmasters clubs. Some of you might remember that a few years back, they had 2 world champions of public speaking in 2 consecutive years coming from Singapore. So 240 clubs to choose from. You can go there every night, over lunchtime, over the weekend. And what was really interesting for me to see in Singapore, people visit other clubs as a habit. They have this strong habit of visiting other clubs. Of course, it's super convenient there. Usually you can walk to the other club venue, or you take the train a few stops and then you are there. And when I did this, I decided immediately we need to bring this back here to Zurich, Switzerland. It is so beneficial to visit other clubs, to see what they do in a good way, but also to see where they do bad things and then avoid these things, but take over the good things. And they also manage to support each other when they realize that a club is getting weaker. They go to other clubs as whole groups and try to strengthen them with this. So first takeaway, let's spread the word that visiting other clubs is super beneficial for those that visit, but also those that get visited. And you see the smiling faces. Obviously, it's the right thing to do. This is a picture of last week. Club officer training here in Zurich, Switzerland, fortunately happening again in classrooms, in person. For me, it was also a night of the hugs. A lot of people that I have not seen in person for 3, 4, 5 years. thanks to Corona, but we are still connected with each other. Every time I go to club officer trainings, I have the opportunity to meet new interesting people. I particularly enjoyed the sessions that were provided. Obviously, there are intelligent, very well educated people that are open-minded, that discover interesting sources of information, inspiration, and we share it in these events. I can't get enough of it. This COT season, I think this is the third COT that I attend. I organized one myself. I will travel to Stuttgart in 2 weeks for a Saturday COT. I just can't get enough of it. The energy, the people that I meet there, this is exactly the environment of people that I want to have. I chose to be with people like this. Club officer trainings. Luckily, they are happening at least twice a year. So a regular opportunity next to visiting other clubs where we can go beyond the boundaries of our home clubs. Next one, speech contests. This was also here in Zurich. For the very first time in my 14 years as a Toastmaster, I made it beyond the area contest level and into the division level. And you see me smiling here. Yes, it's a lot of effort that goes into speech contests, especially for those that organize these events, those that can go on the stage and take the opportunity to shine, they just accelerate their growth. I claim everybody is accelerating their growth, those that organize these events, those that have the opportunity to go on these big stages, those that are in the audience, because it's like a trade fair of communication skills. And I have been attending speech contests also for more than 10 years. Every time I go, I get something new, something of value out of it. Let's continue doing this. Speech contests. They only happen once a year in springtime until summer. Speech contests. This is I call it a growth accelerator. Growth accelerator. It's people that do that step outside of the comfort zone of the home club, they immediately accelerate their growth. Every year it's like a surprise how well this works. Okay, and last but not least, this is really the big thing. 2018, where a group of Toastmasters here in our district decided to run a conference on a cruise ship, Costa Diadema. I will never forget this opportunity and this occasion. Glamour, Toastmasters glamour. At conferences, of course, I like the speech contests where the very best that went through all these filters to the very top. I can learn a lot of them. I particularly enjoy the evaluation speech contests. And what I like best at conferences next to the party is the workshops. Oftentimes there is a very well hand-picked lineup of workshop leaders. Great thing, great thing. Yes, this is my little journey beyond the home club. I have only after 5 years after I joined Toastmasters, I started to discover the world beyond my home club. As I said, I'm in the Toastmasters corporate world. For the first 5 years, we were living on our island. We were not interested in anything that happened outside of our home club. We even said to people, leave us alone. We are so busy taking care of ourselves, surviving. Luckily, I made that step. Over to you. Who has a question, something to add, other experiences that you would like to share with us? Things, the magic happening beyond our home clubs.
Lotte, come on.
Yes, actually, in the Netherlands, we are trying to promote visiting other clubs, and we have the Explorer Cup. So we have a cup, and then the
Toastmaster person.
the Toastmasters that has it, then another club can come and they have to do at least one speech and one evaluation during an evening, and then they get the cup. And by that way, we're trying to promote visiting other clubs within the Netherlands, and it's a lot of fun. So sometimes it's hard because you need to find, because some clubs are bilingual, some clubs are only Dutch. So if it's at a Dutch club, you need to find people that are able to speak in Dutch or figure out a way to work it out. But it's a lot of fun to visit other clubs.
Thank you very much for sharing. And can you tell us how well does it work? So you have this cup. How well is it a good tool to trigger that change of habit?
Yes and no. It was a good tool until COVID came, and then it kind of died out. And the club was the thing was actually stationed at our club for 2 years. And now it is circling around again, but we noticed that only certain clubs, it's always the same clubs that are participating in it. So we're trying to figure out how to make it more knowledgeable within our district.
Yeah, it rings a bell. Here in District 109, we had the visitor trophy. I think this was also an initiative done before COVID. I think they also managed to put it somehow in the virtual world because this was a perfect time, right? Just a mouse click away, the other locations. Yeah, I like, from a leadership point of view, I very much like these initiatives. Sometimes, and I like to compare it with male-female ratios in management. Sometimes you have to come up with that external trigger for change, because when you just keep pledge or telling people, hey, it's a good thing, like Andreas does today, oftentimes this is not enough. Are there other ideas how to encourage people visiting other clubs, something that worked in your practice? Before I continue sharing my ideas on how to do this.
Yeah, I think
Anyone?
Andreas,
Harry,
sort of
Harry?
from my end, there's a great amount of joy in visiting other clubs. You meet people and you see how they operate things. And every time I go to a different club, I pick up something which I take back to my own club. And my own club learns from my visits to other clubs and things. So that there's a great synergy between clubs and how we almost go from one club to the other and then evolve as a club through members' visits to other clubs and things. So it's a wonderful way of getting to know people. It's a wonderful way of learning. It's a wonderful way of sharing information.
Yeah, we do know that, but how do we encourage people that don't grasp that yet, or that have not experienced that?
Yes, sorry, and that's what I was going to say, that
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
by sharing this with them, by sharing this information with them and sharing your experience, you help to motivate. So an occasional speech at your own club, an occasional speech at a different club about visiting other clubs, I think is an important way of sharing this information and motivating people.
Yeah, so leading by example, of
Exactly.
course, always a key thing for us as leaders. Things we do not exemplify ourselves, they will never happen, according to my observation. Are there more hands-on, even more hands-on approaches that you tested successfully? Yes, Unal.
Yeah. So actually, the first time I visited another club besides my own club was as I was area director, actually, because I had to go and visit them. So taking more roles, officer roles may help people to go outside of their clubs. So I'm also from a corporate club, so I know this difficulty. So I am also explaining the club members in my club. So it's good to visit other clubs outside of or shell, I mean. But so it's if they see it once, it's more easier for them to understand. Another way will be maybe to announcing open places at meetings in the division level or area level, so that you invite or encourage other people to come to your club to speak. So if you have less than 3 speakers, for instance, on a day, on a meeting, you can announce it and invite people so that they can maybe get encouraged to come and visit you.
Thanks for sharing two very valuable points. One thing reminds me of one Toastmasters club here in Zurich. They, for their club contest, they have the habit of inviting plenty of people to serve in various roles. And last time it felt like an area contest. It was so big and so diverse when it comes to the attendees. Yep, that's great. So announcing open speech slots and roles in regular meetings, but of course also in the club contests. And it's also a smart idea because the more people from outside that take club contest roles, the more it encourages or enables people to go on the stage and compete. That's the good thing. Yeah, and Unal, thanks for pointing this out. I totally forgot the district officer roles as a golden opportunity to go beyond the boundaries of our home clubs. And the first step is the area director who is tasked to visit other clubs. Of course, of course. What I did in the past never really worked is the club of the month. So I showed a PowerPoint slide with where I presented one other club here in Zurich for people to go. And I said here it's usually like in Singapore, just a few steps or a short tram ride to go to the other club's venue. This didn't really work, but I tried showing a beautiful picture. By the way, this is the club of the month that you could visit. Another idea which I never tried is an excursion. So you take a whole group of fellow members and say, we go together to the other group. Who tried that maybe? Doing an excursion? Lotte, yes. Oh, please share.
We actually did it during COVID times. So
Aha.
we would just, well, we did discuss it with the Toastmasters group in advance because otherwise they would have 20 people extra. But we went to South Africa, to Singapore. We just tried different types of groups online, which was a lot of fun. And well, while you can't go there right now because of the how far away it is, it was nice to get to know other clubs that way during COVID times online.
Yeah, we were so bored that we had the opportunity to visit the world. By the way, who also visited the world in the COVID years virtually? Any, please. I want to see how nerdy this group is and how passionate about traveling the world. And yeah, for me, it was, I went to Nigeria, I went to South Africa. I had the opportunity to speak in front of 120 people in Thailand via Zoom. Yeah, a golden opportunity for those that are really into it. Most of it is gone, but there are still online clubs or still a lot of groups offer hybrid. I will be in Dortmund, Germany later this month, for example. It's still possible thanks to hybrid. And I learned on LinkedIn yesterday there was a gentleman. He visited 50 clubs as an external guest already, and he even hosted. He served in the role of Toastmaster from via remote. So you see, there are no boundaries to the fantasy. Okay, in case there's nothing else to add, I would like to move on to the conferences because I say the conferences, this is just for a very special group of people, just a small one, a few percentage points of the whole population of Toastmasters. Do you agree? And maybe we can share why this is the case and how we can change that conferences get much more popular. By the way, there's an opportunity to get together in Istanbul in May.
I'd myself love to go to Istanbul. I've done a lot of virtual traveling, and because I have no money much, I do that continually, sometimes through Internations, which has travel seminars all over the place. All the costs are too high, but I landed on a Toastmasters couch surfing site, which I thought was a brilliant idea. And generally, I would hope that we can organize homestays to get a little bit more knowledge about the culture in a week of holiday.
And would you like to share that website about Toastmasters couch surfing?
I'll have to look it up and I'll put it in the chat.
Ah, fantastic. Super. Yeah, I hear this a lot. Also, there's another conference in District 95 happening in Germany. Unfortunately, the exact same weekend like Istanbul. And I hear already that the minimum cost is 300 euros only to get there and for accommodation plus the ticket price. Yeah, I think we can say conferences are for those that have more money. I guess this is true. Anybody, please argue with me or come up with ideas on how to make this even more accessible, this opportunity of meeting truly internationally.
I think next to money, that people are also sometimes afraid of going to new places. So what we try to do with our club is that if one person is going, that they promote that they are going, and if anybody wants to join and maybe carpool together, so that it makes it a bit easier to yeah, have it accessible, not to be overpowered by not knowing anyone.
Yeah, I have to admit, Istanbul is a place where I'm afraid. I'm not feeling comfortable traveling there. Is it a safe place to go there?
Let's ask. Let's ask Denise. Come on, she's right here, and so is Bursu. They live there.
Of course, it is safe, and we will make sure that you will not end up unsafe areas of it. So.
And for me, it's one is the of course the yeah, is it safe? And I'm really frank here. Terrorist attacks is one thing on my mind, and the other thing is I've never been to a city that big. Can I get lost there?
I guess you won't get lost because our venue is a very convenient place, and we will be all around you to support you in all your needs and questions. So that's why don't worry about that.
I went to
please also take the
there.
opportunity quickly to share information about the upcoming Istanbul conference here in our Zoom chat. I think people are getting more and more interested in this.
Yeah,
I think there is a registration page or something.
Very soon it will be published. So Elena is working on it. So we have just agreed with the venue, and the tickets and all the information will come very soon, so that you can plan ahead. And we are trying to
just restate the date, the exact date.
It's from 10th to 12th of May.
Okay, perfect. And then there were other advices. Please speak up now. Yep.
I attended an English teachers conference a lot of years ago. It was phenomenally fun. So much to see, so much culture, so much history. It was completely safe. There were some demonstrations starting in Taksim, but it was still completely safe for a foreigner. I had no problem. Didn't meet many people, but I had a great time staying in a really good hotel, and it cost, I think, 35 euros a night.
Yes, Andreas, I must add to that as well. I was in Istanbul. Well, we went to Ankara earlier this year, and then on my way back, I traveled via Istanbul, spent a night in Istanbul, and I've never been there before, so I was a complete stranger sort of thing, but I walked out of the hotel and found where all the little restaurants on the historic part of Istanbul, and it was perfectly safe and perfectly happy. I was surrounded by a lot of tourists and things, and everybody was happy, good dynamics. So absolutely no reason to feel that you'd be threatened or under threat or whatever sort of thing.
I can add also. I've been into Istanbul several times. I was working as my job in engineering, covering Turkey among other countries, and I loved the atmosphere, even the professional one. I've been there also as a tourist with my wife. What struck me is the variety of people that go visit it from all over the world. It's truly a bridge between Asia and Europe. You find many European, many people from the West, many people from the Far East, Chinese, Japan. Everyone goes there because it's a melting pot, and it's the whole city is geared towards tourism. There's so many things to find. You know, it was the next Rome. After Rome in age, there was Constantinople was the new head of the empire, and then there was the Ottoman Empire. There were two empires there, so there's infinite culture, and there's for fans of any type. I suggest it, and I suggest you go there, and it's a great choice for a venue.
No more reasons not to go, Andreas.
Okay, okay. Yeah, then maybe to wrap this up slowly but steadily, the final topic is the contests. Question for you: how do you encourage potential first-time contestants? I always struggle. I see a lot of talent in my home clubs, but also elsewhere. But there are people that never do that stepping up to the contest stage. What worked according to your experience, encouraging people to compete?
Personal touch. I organized the club contest last year, and of course, with your international speech contest, there are certain requirements and things. You have to have completed level 2 or B DTM and etc. sort of thing. But in terms of evaluation and table topics, it's open to everyone in the club. And I had one of the persons in the evaluation contest had only been there for about 3 months at the time, sort of thing, but went and spoke to her and said, come on, you can do it, sort of thing. And she tried, and she ended up being second in the area and sort of thing, which was a great surprise to her and to everybody else. But if you don't go and people and motivate them, people I think we're all a little bit sort of afraid to step up and to be shot down, if you want to put it that way. But if you go to people and just give them a little bit of a nudge and a little bit of motivation, they very, very often step up and are prepared to take that risk.
Thank you. Thank you very much for sharing, Harry. And I see Thomas's hand is up. Thomas, please go ahead.
Yes, thanks. So I would like to share with you my personal story, how I competed the first time, and it's combining two things, also visiting other clubs. So I started in February 2 years ago, and I gave my icebreaker immediately, and they motivated me if I want to attend the Toastmasters, the competition. So and they say, yeah, sure. What do I need to do? And then say, yeah, you need to fulfill level 2. And then, yeah, there were only 3 meetings left. So how can I do? Yeah, you can go online, because a lot of people are still meeting because of COVID and hybrid. So I did every week 2 or 3 speeches until I was eligible to join the competition immediately. So it was starting in February and competition in March. And this is with online, and I visited many different clubs, mainly in Germany, because I thought the culture in Germany is very strict and direct and give me honest feedback, so I have a chance. So I was directly qualified for ARIA competition, so after club competition, and then I went to and I won the ARIA competition straight. So it was an amazing experience, and I tried to bring this energy back to the club, my experience from the other clubs, and then now 1 year later, or yeah, they asked me to become president of the club. So it was it's an amazing experience with Toastmaster for myself, and I would like to yeah, I wanted to share this story with you.
Thank you very much, Thomas. I still well recall seeing you compete in that venue of EF here in Zurich. yeah, a rising star, Thomas. And so, yeah, one opportunity is to be a rising star or show examples of rising stars, and then encourage people to follow their lead. Any more ideas on to bring in more contestants?
It is one thing that at the moment we are struggling with, because a lot of old members have not finished their level 2 in pathways yet, so they're not eligible to do the contest. And we have a lot of new members, so we're really struggling with how to enthusiast the members that are eligible for the international speech contest to participate. So if anybody has any tips, that would be great, because we don't know, even personal touch doesn't help out right now.
A long time ago, I recall forcing people to take part. That is, who's in it? The club meeting, you are. Everybody is. Or we divided up the meeting into about 3 groups, one for judges, one for people who are taking part in the table topics, and the other who are taking part in evaluation contests, because of the fact that they had to move. It was a bit complex. And we're already describing it to the members how it runs, because they are very curious, by just sort of visually indicating how we do it before our standard table topics meeting. You guys are answering the same topic. Here's a typical topic. You pretend to go out and come in and do your table topics.
Yes, I have a lot of sympathy for that. I always tell the club officers teams, do it like that. It starts with the club contest, which is still in the cozy environment of the home club, a risk-free, friendly environment where they can test things. Let's just make them contestants. Super easy for evaluation contest and table topic contest. Bit more effort for prepared speeches, but definitely possible. And then they get this first feeling, and just showing them the ballot for the first time sometimes helps, that they see how seriously we take this. Over to you, Liesel. I see your hand. Kindly unmute yourself. Yeah, here we go.
There we go. I was having some challenges. Yes, I just want to echo what Graham has said and yourself, that we haven't personally done it in our club yet, but it's something I certainly would like us to try, and that is to have the mock contest. And you can really do that. It takes a lot of time to organize a contest, but I think I've read this or I've heard it during some training, that doing a mock contest can settle the nerves and get people excited. So that could possibly be something that you could try, and you can do it any time of the year, really. It doesn't have to wait until just before contest season. Maybe the earlier the better, so that people can see where they can improve and how they can change things up a little bit, and couple that with training. As we know, we are a training organization, and people are more willing and comfortable to do things when they've been equipped at least with the theory knowledge, and then it is about doing the practical. So you could theme your meetings, say, okay, this is our mock contest meeting, much like you would do a real contest, and you can see how that could work for you. So that's just a suggestion I heard. We haven't tried it practically, but it's on my radar to bring it to the club.
Super. Thank you very much for sharing. Denise, maybe the final words before we wrap up here.
I just want to add on Liesel. One of our clubs in Turkey made a mock contest with an external other NGO, which is JCI in their city. And some of the Toastmasters members who are experienced in giving speeches, not a contest speech, but normal speeches in the clubs, were the judges. So giving them the opportunity to be judges and be familiar with the contest judging ballot, and seeing, outsiders being on stage, I think was motivating them to feel like, oh, why not? I'm doing it. I can do it also, kind of a thing. And also that contest, the members who wanted to be speakers also had that choice. And also from the other organization, the member of the other organization get to know Toastmasters, and it's also a door opener for them to be guests or members of our club's potential.
Super. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody, for your sharing of experiences. I put for a final time the slide set up. I want to quickly summarize what we discussed. So the big thing are the conferences, for example, on a cruise ship in exciting places, sometimes in Italy, sometimes in Turkey, hopefully sometime again in Switzerland. We had the speech contests, and we discussed how to encourage even more people to step up and to finally become a contestant. We had the club officer trainings, and you see I added a new slide. Still looking for a picture. Next to visits to other clubs, there is, of course, being in the role of an area director, a person who is tasked to visit other clubs as a habit. Thank you very much for the exchange. I enjoyed it a lot. I'm motivated again to go beyond the coziness of my home club. In my agenda, I have already 3-4 dates booked in my agenda, and also on Easy Speak, where I will be visiting other clubs in the first quarter of this year. Thank you, Harry, for the opportunity to speak today here, and I'm happy to hand back the word to you.